We're no longer hiring. We're not backfilling positions. We're not growing in the state anymore. We're not expanding more locations. And I'm ultimately thinking about selling or closing my business.
In April 2024, California raised the minimum wage for fast food workers to $20 an hour. And it's become obvious to most people that this is not going well because it has caused many of these large chain restaurant locations to shut down and fast food prices to rise. Some say that minimum wage is inherently bad, others say that it's good for the people. Today, I'll be going over some of the arguments for and against minimum wage, starting with reducing poverty and inequality. A higher minimum wage can provide workers with more income to afford basic necessities like housing, food, and health care, potentially lifting families out of poverty. It can disproportionately help women, minorities, and young workers who are overrepresented in low wage jobs, helping reduce income, gender, and racial inequalities. By increasing workers' wages, the need for government anti poverty programs like food stamps or housing assistance could be reduced, saving taxpayer money. Some say it could boost the economy. Low wage workers are often more likely to spend additional income immediately, leading to increased consumer demand for goods and services, which can stimulate economic growth. The higher wages can improve employee morale, reduce turnover, and lower an employee's costs associated with hiring and training new staff. Now I'm going to go over arguments against raising the minimum wage. Standard economic theory suggests that if you raise the price of labor above market equilibrium, employers will demand less of it. This could lead to job losses, particularly for low skilled, entry level, and youth workers. Instead of outright job cuts, employers may reduce the hours of the existing employees or be less willing to offer on the job training opportunities for new hires. Businesses, especially those with small profit margins like restaurants and retail, may respond to higher labor costs by raising the prices of their goods and services. This could lead to general price inflation, which diminishes the real value of the wage increase for workers and increases costs for all consumers. Many people argue that minimum wage is an inefficient anti poverty tool. Opponents argue that a significant number of minimum wage earners are not the primary breadwinners of poor families. Therefore, the policy is an inefficient way to address poverty compared to more targeted measures. Raising wages can sometimes cause low income workers to lose eligibility for means tested government benefits like housing or health care assistance, which can partially or fully offset the financial gain from the wage increase. Raising minimum wage could also negatively impact small businesses because they often operate on tighter margins and may struggle more than large corporations to absorb significant increases in labor costs, potentially leading to closures. Higher labor costs incentivize businesses to invest in automation to replace human workers, particularly in low skilled sectors. Overall, I don't think that either side is completely wrong, and there are many ways to improve minimum wage. We can start by phasing in increases instead of an immediate large hike. The wage increase can be gradually rolled out over several years. This gives businesses time to adjust, invest in efficiency, or find new markets, thus potentially reducing the severity of job loss or sudden price hikes. We could also try indexing to inflation or median wage. Once a target wage is reached, future increases are automatically tied to an economic measure, such as the Consumer Price Index or median hourly wage. This prevents the wage floor from lowering value over time and removes the need for politically contagious large one time purchases, or rather increases. We could also eliminate sub-minimum wages, gradually raising the tipped minimum wage, youth minimum wage, and sub-minimum wages for workers with disabilities to the full minimum wage. This reduces poverty among highly vulnerable groups. There are also alternatives to minimum wage, like the Earned Income Tax Credit, a refundable tax credit that supplements the wages of low to moderate income workers, especially those with children. The credit increases with earnings up to a point, then phases out. It's based on family income, making it more of an efficient anti poverty tool that helps people most in need. Because it is a wage subsidy paid to the worker, it effectively raises their take home pay and encourages them to enter and stay in the workforce, which is the opposite effect of a traditional minimum. The last alternative I'm going to go over is broader economic and labor policies that fund job training, vocational education, and affordable higher education to increase the skills and productivity of the workforce. When workers are more productive, their market wage naturally increases, making it easier for workers to unionize and negotiate wages and benefits can empower them to secure better pay without government mandate. That's the end of the video. Like and subscribe if you want to see more.